Fog rolls over a Kentucky tobacco field at dawn. The leaves hang dark and heavy. An old barn waits at the edge of the trees, like it has been waiting for years. Narrator: in western Kentucky, there are stories people still whisper when the mist settles low over the ground. They talk about hoofbeats that arrive without wind. They talk about masked riders who move like rumors. But the deepest fear is quieter. It is the idea that something else came with the smoke. At the start of the 1900s, tobacco was more than a crop. It was the rhythm of winter, the promise of school shoes, the coin that kept a family from falling apart. Then the market shifted, prices slipped, and men who had built their lives on the leaf felt cornered. Growers began meeting in daylight, trading plans over coffee, arguing over who could be trusted. But when words stopped working, the fight moved to the night. Lanterns passed between trunks. Horses followed narrow paths. The night riders warned farmers not to sell outside the growers' pool. People in towns like Princeton and Hopkinsville learned to listen for trouble the way you listen for weather. Yet some swore the riders were only the surface. They said the true driver was something darker, something that did not care about contracts. One story begins at an old tobacco barn outside a small town. The owner was Elias Crow, a man known for refusing easy answers. He believed the pool was a cage, and he refused to let fear decide what his family would lose. One cold night, Elias went to the curing pit to check the fire. Smoke curled through the rafters, thick and sweet. Then he heard it, slow hoofbeats on the road. He grabbed a lantern and stepped outside. Across the field, a line of riders moved through the mist. Their horses sounded wrong, as if the ground muffled them. Their masks looked pale, dusted with ash. Behind them drifted a black plume that felt too heavy to be just air. Elias shouted into the fog. The riders halted. For one heartbeat, nothing moved. And then the smoke gathered into a taller shape. It was not riding. It hovered just above the road. A wide hat hid its face, and where eyes should have been, there were only two glowing embers. The figure lifted a long arm and pointed toward Elias' barn. A voice rose from the smoke, calm and cold. Every leaf remembers. Elias stumbled back. The barn doors swung open by themselves. Inside, the tobacco began to sway, though the wind was gone. Then whispers filled the rafters. Not random sounds, names, farm names, family names, men who signed papers they never intended to honor. Elias dropped his lantern. The flame did not spread. Instead, the black smoke rolled across the floor like something alive. It wrapped the hanging leaves, and every leaf turned dark, not burned, black as if it drank the night and kept it. Morning came, and neighbors found Elias standing in the road, staring at his barn. He was alive, but he would not speak for 3 days. When he finally did, he said this: "The riders we fear are flesh and blood, but the smoke rides for the dead." After that, reports traveled faster than gossip. Farmers heard hooves circling their homes, then found no tracks in the mud. Tobacco smoke would appear in empty barns, even when chimneys were cold. And sometimes, before a raid, witnesses saw a pale rider at the field edge, not leading men, only watching them. Some said it was the spirit of the land, angry that people used it as a weapon. Others said it was a ghost of a farmer who returned to measure debts. But the darkest version lingered in the mouths of the old, because it explained the feeling of being judged. They said the smoke rider is not a visitor. It is a habit that grows from fear, from anger, from prayers shouted into barns while the world turns its back. Because war leaves more than damage. It leaves a memory. And in Black Patch Country, that memory learned how to ride.